ahead and listen, though.
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but let's listen to Ted Cruz making his pitch to voters. Okay, this is Ted Cruz, not in the Empire State, mind you, on primary night. He was in Pennsylvania speaking to supporters in Philadelphia.
Today, as Republicans, we agree on a lot. And sure, areas of lesser agreement exist as well. But on the fundamental question, are we satisfied with the current direction of our country? We speak with one voice. Our sitting president ran on a slogan that should have been a great first step. It promised us, yes, we can. Now is the time to take that slogan and put it into action. Here's the truth. You don't need me or any politician. But we do need each other, all of us, coming together as one, as we the people. Because not only do we say, yes, we can, beginning here and now, we pledge to each and every one of us, yes, we will.
Okay, gentlemen, some raised eyebrows all around. I mean, what are your initial thoughts here? This is not the Ted Cruz that we have heard before.
Yeah, very non-ideological speech. He not only invoked Barack Obama in a positive way, which I never thought I'd live to see the day that he would do that, but he talked about President Kennedy and what he stood for and others. It was a totally different approach. I think that if I were Ted Cruz, I would be looking at where my standing is in the race right now and saying, I have to get this establishment over to me, right? He has the same problem Donald Trump has. How do I make myself more appealing to a wider swath of Republican primary voters and delegates than I have currently? And to me, both he and Trump were reaching out to not their core supporters, but to all those people who found them not acceptable and saying, come to me.
I interrupted before, but, you know, this kind of rhetoric, coming together as we the people, Steve, I mean, you were saying that when you look ahead here, given what's happened in New York, it's very difficult for him to make that argument that he will be the person who will able to bring together all the never Trump folks and to rally them, because the math, as you've been saying, looks really tough for Ted Cruz compared to just a week ago.
Right. There's going to be a narrative shift, and you're seeing the candidates sort of shift it, right? So Trump is trying to talk about being a unifier, and he's talking about the math and how the math is not going to work for the other candidates. So now we've got to get behind me and move forward. Does that work with Republican voters moving forward? We'll see. Does Cruz's work moving forward? Okay, well, you know what? I'm the one that can unify. I'm the one that says, yes, we can. And there's still a path for him. It doesn't involve actually getting the majority of delegates, but it involves preventing the other guy from getting a majority of delegates and then putting me in there as your nominee. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, we're going to be looking to May 3rd in Indiana. I think if Cruz and Kasich cannot win in Indiana and Trump winds up winning, I think really the shift in this campaign, it goes just to Trump at that point, and there's really no argument left for Cruz. I think that's really Cruz's last stand. I mean, I don't want to like put a stake in the guy too early, but really he's got to win in Indiana, I think, to turn this thing back to him and say, I can be the real alternative, because Kasich is not proving to be one. I think Kasich shook things up a little bit tonight, but he still hasn't really won anything. Cruz can prove that he can win, and if he can win in Indiana, I think we're talking about a stretched out through June 7th primary.
So I think there's a couple of things. I think one, this was a big defeat for him, but it's not unexpected, okay? But I thought the tone was so low energy. You can say words, the optics were bad, the energy was low. He was like circa, you know, all of a sudden we're going back to like the defeat speech of Marco Rubio. I'm like, what is common here? Like, it was like everybody's kind of sad. It was just like not something you want to get behind.
I screwed up the debate.
Yeah, I screwed it up. I did that. I was like, I was almost crying. It was like, I was like, what is happening? Like, that has not been the cadence or the style of his campaign. He's always been like, we're going to pick ourselves up. His speeches tend to be more compressed when he loses and he moves forward, but he's strong. Here it's a different, more senatorial almost type of speech, but I don't think it's the right moment, the right speech, or the right time.
All right.